Conversion therapy is any form of intervention given to individuals with the goal of changing their sexual orientation from homosexuality or bisexuality to heterosexuality. This practice is mostly forced, and even when there is consent, it can be extremely abusive. Some of the stories you're about to hear are heartbreaking. So can you share your experience with conversion therapy with me?
Well, my experience, I'll start from when I was very young.
Okay.
When my parent friends, the four, find out about my sexuality,
Okay.
that was when I was abused as a young child. And the person being the abusers thinking I'm going to report him to my parent, which I never did. He was the first to report himself. So when he reported, that was when they find out. It was like the ground should just open up and swallow me that period, because everybody was on my neck, like, who taught you, and after everything, they later find out that this person had to do it. He forced me, because I opened up to my mom, because my mom is the only person I can open up to based on such a thing. So after some years, my elder sister, about 4 years now, January, I can remember January 2nd. Yeah. My elder sister found out about that I was still in it, because after that episode, that period, they thought I have stopped it. So when she found out through my phone, because she seized my phone and went through my chat, then she saw the kind of chat I was having. So that period, they were like, what is all this one? We thought that then they had to flash back to what happened years back, and they succeeded in concluding that I seduced the man, which I never did. So after that, they were like, they are not sure if I will continue my education, because then I was in a fashion house, I was learning fashion, so I had to stop. My fashion apprenticeship ended that period. So because my other sister who find out does not stay with us, she stays in Port Harcourt. So before she left for Port Harcourt, she told them that they should take me to any church. And my mom is a very spiritual person, so immediately they took me to a church. The phone I bought not just up to 3 months that I used my own money to buy. They broke it. Like they said, that is the means I use in communicating with them. Yeah. So they broke it. I was in that church for like almost a year. The torture I went through there was I can't just explain it. I was not allowed to sleep in the church. I slept outside, like under the cold. It was so touching that period that whenever I remember it, it's so heartbroken, because I don't pray for even my enemy should go through such situation. And still, in that church that I find out that one of the workers is still a queer person. And both of us still became friends. Even after all the deliverance, that I even had injury on my forehead. Yeah, I hit my head in the pillar, that blood was gushing out. Even the so-called woman of God left me. It was my mom that had to come to the church to take care of me, to treat the injury. It was so heartbreaking that period. It was when they nearly wanted to make me a worker in the church that I had to escape. Like, I escaped, not that they said I should go. I escaped from the church. That was how I was freed. So ever since that period, most of the times, they believed that the spirit has left me, but I'm still who I am, bouncing strong. But most of the times, there are some things my mom would just come up with and was like, she believe I'm still doing it. I said, if that's your belief, it's none of mine. So there was a period, was it this year or so? Because now I had to enroll back in the fashion school.
Yeah.
So that period, my mom was like suspecting something. Then my other sister too, the one that stays with us, was like, she too was suspecting something, and she had to tell my mom, and my mom said, I can't continue my fashion school. I'm not in the university now because of my sexuality. They don't want me to go because they believe that's where I'm going to have the chance to be myself. So they don't want me to go. But yet that does not stop me from being who I want to be. So after some help, I reported to some people and they came to help. And that was how I continued. And I have been sustaining myself throughout the period of me being in the school now. And when my mom found out that I'm not even concerned about them not giving me money, that was when she came up again. I was like, so I'm going out to see men, so they will give me money. She said they will have to take me back to the church. I said, if you want to take me back, then prepare to lose your son, because I might not follow you back to that church. So, okay. She said, okay. That was how I escaped from my mom's situation. Then there was a period, still that particular period, I tried to commit suicide. That was last year. I tried to commit suicide. I almost dropped my suicide. I dropped my suicide note on all social medias. And calls were coming in that period, that particular night, because I thought I was something else and I'm different from others because the insult was getting too much. So I dropped my suicide note and I was in my room alone. People were calling. Even my sister, I didn't be sure she did not enter that room that particular moment. I'm not sure I'll be sitting down here because I would have been gone. Like, she came into that room that moment, and that was when I was able to, she collected the knife from me, and I'm alive. So me still denying myself, there was one word she told me, that this particular person, my immediate elder sister, she told me, no matter who you are, I still love you. That word was very strong, that kept me going. Then I was still living in self-denial then, and I had to go to a priest, and a Catholic priest, and that is our parish priest in my church. I went to meet him, and he was like, okay. He explained things to me and decided to book an appointment with a therapist for me. But after going through everything, I found out I don't need a therapist because this is who I am. For years, I've been myself. Did I kill anybody for being different? I am, like, I don't like girls. It's not compulsory. Even that period, I concluded I'm not going to get married. At least if I live a single life, it's no problem. I want to even enter priesthood if that will sort the whole issue. So the priest was like, okay, no problem. He's going to get a therapist for me, and I had to escape that one too. Like, I refused to see a therapist because I don't want to see. Even the priest who was not even serious of getting the therapist for me, because I'm the one always reminding him, and you get to him, get him. So I just had to forget about it. But today, here I am, waxing strong, looking ahead, and bouncing on my feet back.
Amazing. How do you feel about yourself right now?
Wow. Well, I'm so happy about myself. That is what I would just say, because look at me now. Even where I am now, I can't believe I will get to this level. Yeah. Like, I've always dreamt of being an actor, and like, it's just like a dream come true to me. Before I get here, I've been on set since on Tuesday, so I can't believe I would ever be on set. Like, I can't believe it. And also, in short, things that have been happening to me lately, I said, I didn't mean I have committed suicide then. Would all this happen? Like, I'm happy about myself now.
Looking forward, things are, at a good place right now. Do you now have a chance to learn more about yourself and your sexuality?
Yeah, yes. I want to learn more about myself and my sexuality. because we learn every day. So I'm open for more learning.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing your story today. And I have to say that I'm glad that you're here today, regardless of what happened in the past.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you.
Can you share with me your experience of conversion practice?
Okay, yeah, I can. I I think the first one happened when I was 13. That was when my parents got to know about my sexuality. So it was a whole lot of trouble. Like, it was my mom that got to know about it first. So she said, okay, you are possessed, all the dramas and everything. So they took me to the first church. Yeah. Went to meet the man of God. They started prayers, normal, everything. So at a point, the man of God tried to abuse me. Yeah, so I couldn't tell my mom because I was just there, only me, myself, and the man of God. So I was like, okay. At the point, my mom came to visit, so I told her, I was like, this person you brought me to help me on this stuff and that. As at then, I was still having issues with myself. I didn't accept myself. I was still very young. So my mom was like, it's not true. There is the stuff that is in me that is possessing me and all of that. That's why. I said, okay, they left me, but the man couldn't do anything. That was it. Then I left. It still continued. I was still having feelings for girls and all of that. So after that, I think then my dad wasn't aware of it. So after that, it was like, after like 6 months again, my mom was like, oh, so you're still doing this stuff? Because then I was actually dating someone I was really in love with. So I couldn't really hide it. So the person do come around and I go to see the person and all of that. So I think one day I went outside to see the person. So my mom saw me from my room. So she was like, I need to take her to see the person and all of that. They locked me in the house for like, I think for 3 months. I wasn't with my phone. I wasn't meant to go outside. I wasn't meant to see the person because they believed maybe it's because of the person is influencing me and all of that. So it didn't actually stop me from seeing the person. I still make ways. Whenever they go out, I'll call a neighbor to open the door. Then I'll still go outside, see the person, come back, stay inside, and all of that. So that's okay. At a point, my mom now was like, it's like this thing is not working. Because when I was growing up, according to what she told me later, when she came to accept that this is it, she said when I was growing up, she started noticing I don't talk naturally. I didn't just know what happened. I didn't just like men, like guys or whatever. I just grew up like that. So whenever we go out together, she'll be like, that guy is greeting you. Answer. I'll be like, I've answered. She'll be like, you will not answer. So we keep having issues like that when we're walking on the way. So I think she started suspecting or something. So when we went for the first, like I went for conventional therapy, I think it's more than 8 times. Yeah, because we keep going from one place to the other, thinking it's gonna go well. And as at then, I was still having issues with myself. So I was like, there's something wrong with me. So I keep going from one to the other. The problem I had was all the men of God we keep meeting, all of them always want to take advantage of me. They'll be like, okay, you're having spiritual husband. There's even one that said, I think he said, I'm having spiritual husband, so he needs to sleep with me to get the man away from me. Or most time you just go to the medium, they'll start telling you used to have dream. One man used to sleep with you, and that's why I'll be like, I don't have such dreams, so it's not possible. So I think I'm fine. So at a point I was like, I don't think there's anything wrong with me. So it's okay. It's just me, and it's me. When I started meeting some kind of people in the queer community, and they were like, okay, this is me. And now I got to know that, okay, it's not just me. I have other people that is like this. So I was like, it's fine. And at a point, they got to accept, like, okay, this is my child. This is how she is. So it wasn't a problem. So even before they died, so it wasn't a problem anymore, the family.
All right. Thank you very much. You sort of answered the other question that I was going to ask. So thank you so much for sharing your story. And I know you're in a better place right now. I hope it keeps getting better.
Yeah, it keeps getting better. It's just I think because of that, it really made I don't know if I should say the stuff I had from men because I keep having terrible experience with them too, due to the convention stuff, because everybody they keep taking me to were always men and men. So I don't feel comfortable, not even safe around them, even till now. I think the last time I had this stuff, they told me it's just I shouldn't even do stuff like that. Everybody are not the same, but it just makes me feel insecure around them. That's it.
I'm so sorry about that.
No, it's fine.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you too.
You're a brave woman. Thank you. When was the first time you experienced conversion practice and who took you there?
I think I'll start from the very beginning. When I was in primary 5, me and a particular guy, we had chemistry, and one day we kissed. Then when we kissed, our classmates saw us, and one of them went to report to a teacher. And the teacher called both of us to the staff room. And it was, when people are much now, and when you're young, they keep saying all sorts of things, that you guys are demonic, as fine as you guys are. This is what you want to become, this is what you want to do with your life. You will kneel down, they will flog you too. So the whole experience was very traumatic, and after they just let us, they said, we were supposed to invite your parents, but we just let it slide, hoping that it will never happen again. And I remember the guy did not talk to me till when I left the school. So we never talked. That was the last time. Then I was still having these feelings, confused, until one day, there's a spiritual woman, I don't know what to call her, that works for my mom. And my mom just said, this woman is very good with, she said she's good at curing homosexuality. Why don't you try? Because my mom knows about my sexuality. She's not cool with it, but she cannot disown me. So then I said, okay, fine. I voluntarily subjected myself to it. She said she's very good. And that was when I met. It was a lady, and then we met. It was kind of private area in a bushy place. And that's when it started. She said for different days, there are different therapy. So I remember the first day was just prayer. We prayed, tried casting out the demon, and that was it. And the second day, that's when things got to a different level. Then she would tie me to a chair and play gay porn. And if I get aroused, she would shock me. So it was very tormenting. I know she would play it again. She would try different ones. If she sees that you are getting bored with that one, she would play another different one again. If you get aroused, she will shock you again. It got to a particular time when she will see that she will start pouring water on your arms where she wants to shock you. And it was very, very, after that second day, I felt like, I would not continue, but she kept on, there's a way they brainwash you. Like, don't worry, the end of this, you will love it, you will do this, you will do that. That, these gay people, they have HIV, they get STIs. So, but when you can stop this, you will move, you will thank God for your life. So I continued with this thing. The second day, it was a dark place. We were in a dark, like everywhere was dark. Then, because before that, she asked me, what am I really scared of? Like, what is the thing? I said it was reptiles. I don't know how she got it. She got a snake. I don't know how she got that. Then it was a dark room. We just there for a few minutes. Then this is the part I don't even like telling people, because I know that was the most tormenting thing in my life. Then she got the snake. Then I started feeling. I said this was a snake. I started shouting. He said, just think of the snake. Channel the energy, the homosexuality energy towards the snake. That this is your fear battling you. Battle it with the snake, and I felt like this thing was going to bite me. He said, no, just focus on the snake, that this is your fear. You are trying to overcome. You can do this. And I felt like it got to a time I was just pissing. I don't know, like, the thing can happen. Just start pissing on yourself. And that was how we continued. Repeat the same section, and that was it. Then when it got to 7 days, I knew that then I was like very, very hardened. And then she told me that, how do you feel now? Do you feel like, because I know towards that, when everything was going, the first day I was feeling like it was torture. Second day, when it got to like the 4th day, then I started feeling bad about myself, that maybe it is true. And it gets to a point, you feel like every homosexuality sin is on you. Like you are the one that brought it towards this, so you start feeling low about yourself, like you are evil, that you deserve this. And that was when I left the place. And my mom asked me, did it work? I said, I feel it did. And it worked to a certain extent for a year, 2 years, and I started having the feelings again. feelings were coming back. And I started doing it codedly, until one day my brother caught me with someone. Then when he caught me, because before that time, I let my sister know that this thing is, I'm having these urges again. And she had been kind of not too cool, but still my mom, so people knew, like half of my family members knew. So when my brother caught me, was like, he was the eldest. So he first of all told me and the person to kneel down. He was like, it was about breaking the person. He even took stick, it was about beating both of us. And I told him that my sister knows and my mom knows and he doesn't know. He said, is this true? He said, then he picked up the phone and called him. And they said, yes. He said, you know what you do? That don't touch him. Just bring him over to us. And then luckily listened. When he listened, he said, I can go and meet my sister. My sister, my mom has sent for me. And my sister asked me the one question. He said, let's forget about all this drama and everything. What do you really want to do with your life? Is this the path you want to follow? Or so that we can all sit down and decide the way forward? And I said, to be honest, I've tried even the worst thing, the electric shock and everything and my fears, but it's not going away. So she said, okay, no problem. This is what we do. We'll call a family meeting and talk about this thing. They called the meeting. Yes, they were fighting, shouting, and everything. My sister told them that unless you want to push him out, because the highest you do, just make him subdue the feeling till when he leaves home and then he continues with his life. So what we have to do is look for a way to focus on the good aspects. Let's just ignore the fact that he is gay. Yes, he is gay, but let's not focus on he's gay. He's our brother. He's someone that we knew. This is a marvelous we knew from little, and that was just it. And that was like the last time I ever had to deal with anything like seeking. That was when I started loving myself. That was just the beginning of me loving myself.
I mean, it's amazing that your sister was there. How has it been from then till now?
It has been nice and also challenging. You know, like my sister, even though she's cool with it, there's something she always says that will make me feel bad a little bit. Okay, she says, I know you are gay and you know I've accepted you, but I'm sorry you can't be with us in heaven. So she said, when none of us go to heaven, you can't be with us. You'll be in a different place. And I don't know, for me, I feel like that's not true. Because I've always believed that our God is a God of diversity. That's why he created blacks, Asian, whites. So when I thought of it, I said, God created us differently. So probably he likes variety. And maybe like what the Bible even says, that he knows the thought of, before he created us, he knows what we'll become. So I felt like this is just part of me.
Amazing. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us. I appreciate it. Can you tell me your experience with conversion practice?
Growing up, my parents were very liberal. So up until I was about 21, I never really had any concern about my sexuality. At least I thought my parents were liberal. It took a long time for me to realize that my parents were actually neglectful, especially my mother. So I explored both sides growing up, men and women. And by the time I was 21, I realized that I was more attracted to women than I was to men. But living in a home where no one even asked about my well-being, it was easy to skate through until I was about 25. And I had some issues graduating from school. And so my mom took me to church for a totally different reason. But when I did get there and I started to have conversations with the pastor, he then started to ask me various questions based on my appearance alone. And then we got to the topic of homosexuality. And yes, I told him I'm gay and it's actually something I don't really care about anymore. But then he told my mom without my permission. And my mom is not the kind of person who listens to anyone about anything. So it was a whole temper tantrum, and it ended up being an ultimatum. And she told me at that time, I'm giving you a few years to live out this fantasy, and by the time you're 30, if this doesn't change, I'm going to disown you. And we live at home, and we don't talk about it. But she does sometimes make some certain comments. Like I could just be around the house and she could be talking about the fact that, oh, you don't wear a bra. And she's banned women from coming to my house. Like she doesn't allow women. So at this, I went through a lot of it on my own. I went through all the motions of trying to figure out my sexuality by myself, the depression. I even got myself into therapy. But at some point, I embraced spirituality, and that really helped me to understand my own path as a person. And that also made me understand and accept myself, because I had already discovered God, and as far as I knew that God accepted me, I was okay with myself. So at this point, I would say that I've pretty much just been left to myself. My family doesn't really talk to me much, but most of them don't even know that I'm gay. And during family gatherings, they always make a lot of, my family's filled with homophobes, open homophobes. They make jokes about gay people, they talk about the way I dress, they make fun of the fact that I'm possibly gay. And I just wait for that time when I'm going to have to reveal myself to my entire family. But I had to bring myself to a point where I don't care what they think anymore. I had to find that self-love. I had to find it myself and kind of just detach myself from the emotions of my family. But it makes me feel very alienated. As far as I'm concerned, I don't have any family. And like even back in school, I have friends who stop talking to me because I'm gay, because they are more conventional and whatnot. So my journey has been pretty lonely, just myself, me, myself, and I. And it actually pushed me away from the church. It pushed me away from the church mostly because of what actually happened that day, because the pastor actually went back into the congregation, ended the service, and decided to start a prayer point about homosexuality. And this is 500 people rolling on the floor, screaming and doing whatever and praying against homosexuality. And I'm standing there like, am I supposed to pray against myself? That was the last time I went to church. That was 5 years ago. And so since then, I decided that if I go find God there, I'll find God within myself. And that helped me to embrace my sexuality, understand it more, and accept it more, so that at the time when it's going to blow up, when it comes to confronting my family, then I would be comfortable with myself.
Have you gotten any support with healing or learning about yourself and your sexuality?
Apart from my self-education, just my brief time in therapy. But my time in therapy pretty much just confirmed what I already knew. So I think that the understanding of my sexuality was already innate, something I had known for a very, very long time. I'd always been a very fluid person who is kind of a guy but kind of a girl, and I understand both energies, male and female energies. So it's been easy for me to kind of get it, to understand it.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing. Really appreciate it. My name is Kiki Mordi, and this is Untold Facts. Beatings, humiliation, and rape are not therapy. They're human rights abuses. This is Untold Facts. Thank you for watching.